This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Jack Threads. Coming up, we battle zombies today as we play the Walking Dead video game.
Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We've got a great week for you. Today we are talking about the Xbox Live Arcade / PSN / is it on Steam for PC maybe?
Yeah,
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead video games.
Tomorrow we got some cool new comics you're not going to want to miss. A couple of really awesome picks for you. Checking
nice.
those out.
That's right, and then on Wednesday we're talking about a movie you can watch at home. That's a movie called Sleepless Night.
That's a movie, unlike those other movies you can watch at home that are TV shows.
It is a movie. You should check it out before Wednesday when
Yeah.
we're talking about it. Sleepless Night.
Yes, and special guest reviewer, because I haven't seen it yet, Mike. So, special. Thursday, we are back for On My Radar, talking about the things that don't fit into the show, as it were,
Some
but
cool
are
picks
still
there
rad.
too. And then Friday, it's another Secret Identity.
Woo!
I
You'll never guess my secret identity. You will also never guess that it is Dan's birthday. What?
It's birthday week. Birthday week dance time.
Yeah, next Friday.
Do you want to
Friday.
wait until Friday to do it?
show your
We could do a special Friday.
Tops
Yeah, let's do it.
for your.
So tune in on Friday for
gift.
Dan's birthday. But we gotta thank our background because our background is
Next
awesome.
week is my birthday.
Right.
Yes, what we're taping.
We're taping it now,
Wow,
but we're gonna
he's-
get together next week.
Yeah, but for the
Right,
week
okay.
after.
Yeah.
For showing
Tune in on
people
Friday
the
for
week
Dan's
after.
birthday.
Wow, weird.
We've got
Yeah.
an awesome background.
With
It's
time
us,
zone changes.
us
as zombies.
Why
Full
did-
on
we're
zombies.
doing a Walking Dead video game this week, so we gotta do zombies.
Loved it.
That is awesome. Raymond Olsen sent this in all the way overseas.
Couldn't make it to 31. Couldn't see it. Had to die and come back as a zombie beforehand.
You look good.
You
You look
never
good.
knew.
Yeah.
You do make a
Anywho.
good 31-year-old zombie.
You're not gonna want to miss Dan's presence
Yes.
on Friday.
Also, I did want to say I'm very excited. A new show that I just started over at the Nerdist YouTube channel called 4 Points has just been released. I'm very excited. So head over to.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank
It's
you very
very
much.
good.
Thank you
Very
very much.
good.
I like that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Zach Levi was our first guest.
not better
Ted
than this
Raimi's the
show,
second
but
guest.
yeah, no.
No.
You should definitely
Pretty
watch
good.
it after you watch this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So youtube.com/Nerdist. Check it out. Let's get into the show, shall we?
When talking about video games, people often say the adventure genre is dead and the big hype that was going to be episodic gaming didn't happen. We tried it, we had Half-Life episode 1 and 2, and then people couldn't do it. But these two things that it doesn't seem anybody can do, one company has proved that they can do it over and over again. That company is Telltale Games. And we have been remiss because we have not covered a single Telltale game, even though they've done
What were the
Back
other
to the
games?
Future,
Oh, right.
Jurassic Park. I mean, things that are right up our alley.
Yep.
It took none other than zombies to make that happen. We're talking about the Walking Dead game from Telltale. And it is ostensibly an adventure game in the sense that you are experiencing the game in order to experience a story. And it supposedly is actually in canon to the Robert Kirkman comic book upon which the television show is also based. They have a cool cel-shaded graphic style and some really interesting innovations in the adventure game genre. Alex, tell me what you thought of this game
Yeah,
that you played
yes.
on.
The Xbox.
Right.
It was it was sort of I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. I just knew Walking Dead game. So I was like, maybe it's like sticks with zombies or something, you know what I mean? And it starts out and I was like, ooh, this is like a story, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden I was like, this is like Heavy Rain or something. Then I was like, oh my god, this is King's Quest. And I was like, it's King's Quest without all the like slash cup, maybe? No. It was slash chalice or whatever. I'm an idiot because I've been sitting in a room staring at a cup for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I should have said chalice.
It certainly is the descendant of those kinds of games.
Definitely, where you're going over and you're sort of learning what the mystery is. Then you get attacked by zombies, and it's like, oh, okay, sort of a cool Heavy Rain type, quick time event type thing. And
I also think there's a lot more emphasis on dialogue here.
Most definitely, and it really does feel like a sort of, BioWare RPG meets Heavy Rain meets King's Quest meets awesome zombie story. And I had a really cool time playing it because it doesn't play like your average video game. I also feel like this would be a game that you could totally sit down with, your friend that doesn't play games but loves zombies, and you're like, look, it's, there's a little bit of twitch, but it's not that bad. My one major gripe is, as one of those weird people who like to have their reticles inverted, that's not an option in this game. And that to me just feels like a massive mistake. Because though there might not be a lot of us, it is really hard to target a zombie in the head when you are going in the opposite direction every time you start. So it took a while for me. So I never felt like I was really flowing with the system the way they wanted, because I would always go, I want to put the reticle on that doorknob, and then it would go down and then up, and I would hit the button. So,
but it's not really one where you have to control the camera per se, but I understand.
No,
what you're
but it's
saying.
enough that it was there the entire first episode. I love the idea that this is episodic. I love the idea that you can kind of get this story, ingest this story, and have an experience, and then in a little bit you can do that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did you feel about the money versus amount of game that is there?
It's a little light,
It wasn't expensive though. It's like $400.
$5.
$5.
And I was gonna say,
Oh, that's not
I'd
that
much
bad.
rather spend $5 for this amount of game than for $15 for a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
I
even
guess
a
that's
lot
true.
more. It's like I rather I love the one sitting or couple sitting experience and feel it completely, and there's no milking. That's not the right word.
Like just
Whatever business.
filling it out.
Filling.
and-
There's no filler.
Yeah.
There's no filler. Milking the teeth.
Milking the teeth and fillerness.
Continuing to
Whatever that would be.
So I'd rather spend $5 than have to spend $50. And $5 is that's what every downloadable game seems like
Yeah.
it should be. That feels appropriate. $15 always feels like it's like.
I don't know if they're doing it on the Xbox or PS3, but I know on Steam you can buy a season pass
that's
for
cool.
all the episodes. It's like $24.
That's cool.
not bad.
So even that is less than it's not even buy a season pass for the cost of a real game. That's still less than a real game.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
I loved it. I should say, I would like to take this time to say that I
You have the ability to say whatever you like. dude.
Thank you.
Although your time is
Alex,
running
what
out.
do you think?
I would like to say, or have the ability to say, that I appreciate that Dan has the time and ability to say things on this show.
Noted.
Noted.
I had given up on season 2 of The
yeah.
Walking Dead, like you guys, and then just sort of
You're talking about the television
the
show.
television show, season 2, and I just sort of put my head down and wanted to get through it because my percentage on my DVR was ticking away.
Yeah.
And it became one of the best seasons of a show. It would be in my top 5 of the last year. It would have been like 5 or 4 or 5. It was so good. So I was super excited to play the game. And I also should say, I think Gary Whitta wrote this game.
I don't believe that's correct.
Pretty sure he did. Maybe. Or maybe it's one of the later episodes. Gary Whitta wrote Book of Eli, post-apocalyptic, I think. But it had something to do with the game, pretty sure.
You played it?
I think he played
Yeah,
the game.
he recommended it to me. I don't know that.
But
means
anyway,
he wrote it. but-
and so I was really excited to play it, and I was playing side by side with my wife, we were watching the show together, like you were suggesting, and it was fun. And I love the dialogue trees, the
time limit.
The time limit, different than BioWare. So you're not sitting there, what is the best decision? It's like it is in real life, gotta fucking say it right now, and there's people that are arguing in front of you, and if you don't choose right, things happen.
Well, the bigger distinction that sets it apart from BioWare, if that's our comparison, is that it isn't a clear-cut good decision, bad decision, evil, good. It's all
You mean
figuring
Mass
out.
Effect, because Dragon Age does similar
Right.
things.
But yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's the sort of
Yeah.
BioWare tag. But yeah, it's much more subtle than that and much more nuanced. And you're trying to massage these relationships and figure out. And there's several decisions that you make in the first episode that there is no right answer. There's
And also
choose
you
who's gonna
see-
live.
And also you see the effect. I love when you the first time it happened to me was I said, you say, oh, I'm her babysitter, and it goes, Scotty now believes you are her babysitter,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Clementine.
It's a really cool.
That mechanic is something that you can turn off.
Right.
And I'm sure there's people that love the immersion, and most games don't have that element because they put immersion over game. But I think it's even more immersive to really feel like what I'm deciding matters and see the ramifications right away by seeing those.
Yeah,
clues.
because I literally, when I did that, I went, oh my God, I lied. And now I feel bad that I lied, whereas before you're just like, "Pff, whatever.
No, what's so great about that too is it isn't like you just got 12 points towards
Right.
your
Lying
paragon
thing, yeah.
Yeah. What's wonderful is that character noticed something.
Yeah.
That this world is
Yeah.
paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge distinction and a really wonderful way of framing that context because it does make you invested in the decisions that you're making. And stuff doesn't matter right away,
Right.
but there's something that happened really close to the end where a guy was like, I did this because you're my friend. And I was like, oh yeah, because I befriended him this whole time.
Right, yeah.
You know?
And I had to replay. I played a trial and then I bought it and so I had to do something. I got a chance to do something twice.
Yeah.
And there's the cool thing is like there's a moment in the beginning where there's blood on the ground, and the first time I played, I looked at it and I saw it, and then I was doing other things. Second time I played it, I already knew it was there, so I didn't look at it, and I slipped.
Yeah.
My character slipped. So it's not just big decisions; it's
Yeah.
like little nuances in the game matter. I want to say though, the control scheme that you found difficult, even with it being in keeping with how I operate,
Right.
not inverted, it's still very difficult. And it wasn't difficult in the as in putting the reticle over the zombie's head when you're,
Yeah.
like the action moments. It wasn't difficult in the way that I want to get. I never was like I really want to get better at this. The way that's
Yeah.
good difficulty in games. It was clunky.
Is it
and
awkward?
It was awkward, and it was like you have to move with your thumb and then take your thumb off the movement and then press a button to do it.
I played on Steam. I played on a PC with a keyboard and mouse. Yeah, and I
Lightning.
didn't have
Well,
that.
because you're moving and clicking with one hand.
Right.
This is it, and so that was weird. And it kind of made me go, why didn't they just do heavy rain gesture mechanic and things like that? Like this wasn't better than that. Of course, I know it's like
Yeah.
a more simple.
Well, what did
behind
you
the scenes
think?
of the
I mean,
game.
it sounds
Yeah,
like
no,
you enjoyed
I
it.
liked it too, and it's interesting how we've come because these games used to be about puzzles.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of what you would consider traditional adventure game puzzles in
Yeah.
the game, but it's certainly much more about role playing to a large extent in a way that we don't think about role playing anymore. Is that I am this guy, and how am I going to deal with these other people,
Yeah.
and what kind of character do I want to project to these other characters?
Yeah, how I play my role affects how this game is going to play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found the biggest thing that I found, you just talk about, well, I wish this could be a little bit different or a little bit different. I really wish that Telltale had the resources and the means to employ the facial technology from LA Noire.
Oh,
It's super expensive, but I could only imagine, I felt like some of the, while I dug the art style and I thought it really worked, especially coming out of a comic book property license, I felt it was really beautiful and effective. I thought that a lot of the facial expressions to what I'm watching basically a scene that could be in the television show.
Right,
It's
yeah.
as well written.
Yeah.
If I had an actual actor conveying that to me rather than, I'm doing shocked face now because that's the slider.
Shock face slider.
Yeah.
How much should we do? 8 or 9 on the shock face?
Yeah, and if you have an
Give me
act-
an 8. It's pretty shocking.
And what they were able to do with LA Noire was so amazing, and it really
Yeah.
felt all those little human subtleties of acting. And I really would love to see a game like this done that way. But it's interesting how you can do this in one sitting. It is like watching an episode of a show that you're living out, and I felt very saatified, and it makes me want to go back and play Back to the Future and
Yeah.
I have Back
Jurassic
to
Park
the-
and Sam and Max.
I have Back to the Future on my iPad actually. I think it was on set. It might even be
Did you
free
play
the
it?
first episode. No, but I have it.
Oh, hey, you know what?
I've
Halfway
acquired
there.
it.
Halfway
I'm
there.
But I want to say about the art style that as a fan of the show, not the comic, I was a little bummed that the characters. It was the comic, not the show. So
Yeah, that's the
old
license
guy
that
on
they
the
own.
farm because of the license.
They own the
Because it felt
comic book
odd to
license.
like. Don't they want to grab people
yeah, no,
that
they
are
don't.
into the?
They don't have the rights to the show. They have the rights to the book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
But really good, and I thought, it goes to some really brutal places. It's very adult.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's you do some really disturbing things, and you make some really difficult choices.
Yeah.
And really cool thing too is when you get to the end of the episode, it shows you the statistics of where you sit as far as what other people did, which I found to be very.
Wait, are your other friends?
No, just didn't you get to the end?
No.
You didn't get to the end?
No.
Oh my gosh, it shows you like 58% of the people made that choice like you.
Across the board.
Didn't they
87.
do that in Heavy Rain?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I think that some other game did that as well.
I
where it
find that
showed
to be
you-
so
yeah, it's
fascinating,
crazy.
and I really like
Oh
that you
no,
get that data.
Catherine.
You're right, Catherine did do that. When those little binary
Oh, yeah,
ethics
yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
About marriage.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Speaking of marriage.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, Jeff.
Who's ready to talk about Jack Threads?
I am.
Dan.
Dan's ready.
You know what Jack Threads is all about?
let's
It's
know.
a members-only shopping club that lets you get awesome clothes every day of the week at reduced prices. What kind of reduced prices? Oh, I'm talking up to
Yeah.
80% off.
That's real
why?
reduced. I don't know.
Why?
I'm sort of more interested in how.
Well, the why of the matter is because only suckers pay full price.
Oh.
Don't be a sucker. Join the club. Jump on board. Get excited like Dan. And become part of the Jack Threads. Part of the Jack Threads team, dudes. You go to jackthreads.com/TRS. You'll get instant access to all the killer hookups because it's a members-only club, dude.
That's what it was.
They send you stuff about things and you can get discounts. You got awesome brands. You got the Kid Robot, the Hurley, the Stussy, so many more. Really, the list goes on.
Yeah.
The list happens to stay the same every week, but it goes on. Try it. jackthreads.com/TRS. You're not going to be a sucker if you try it.
Amazing. Try it.
Join us tomorrow for our review of the comics Exo-Man of War and Smoke and Mirrors.
Today's Twitter question sent in to us with the hashtag #TRSQ is from Darren Lindsay. That's pound. Sasquatch is from Darren Lindsay at Design Hero. Do you watch all movie credits to the end for potential stingers, and what has been your favorite one?
Watch all Marvel movies to the end for potential stingers.
It's funny that you say that because I don't usually, but on a Marvel movie, I'm in, and I hate it when there's not one.
I think we talked about this before because I think I
Always
remember
been one,
saying
but they
that
just moved them.
I do with video
Well, yeah,
games.
now
I feel like video games is much more common to have a stinger, and
It's the
Or
worst,
even a stinger
the worst
level,
in the
I know.
world. Getting to the end of Contra, watching those end credits, waiting for some because that and at the end it says congratulations.
that's a good stinger.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you
why
wanna-
it's called the stingers, because of Contra. It's not called an awesomea.
I feel like the only ones that I remember were Ferris Bueller. Had that one get out of here, or he's like talking to the audience. Love that, and I think Wayne's World had a pretty clever something tag at the end.
Yeah.
I can tell you the worst one is for one of my favorite movies that I don't know if you guys agree with or not, but I love Constantine.
Yeah.
The stinger for the end is cringeworthy. It's like Shia LaBeouf was a side character in that movie, as he
Yeah.
was in a bunch of movies in that era, and they act like, and at the end is like he died in the movie. Spoiler. And the end is like
It
his
doesn't work if you say it after.
his gravestone, and then he like flies down like an angel, as if like first of all it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Him as an angel. Second of
That's
all,
a great movie,
Like
though.
they thought
Yeah, it
it's a
is.
great movie, but the like idea of like this. We all can't.
the
And then you guys
sequel,
can't wait for
Shia
the
LaBeouf's
sequel where
alive.
Shia LaBeouf is an angel. Like
Yeah.
it was so silly and it looks horrible, and it's a shame
Yeah.
because that movie is so good.
Yeah.
Stinger.
Stingered. Thank you so much, Darren Lindsay.